Hello, everybody. This is Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And thanks for all your kind wishes yesterday. I was at the doctor because I have a pinched nerve in my neck, and it is causing all sorts of problems. But I got a massive dose of steroids and muscle relaxants, and so I'm doing okay today. But I very much appreciate your kindness. This is why I like to do these shows, is because the people who watch are very kind people. So thank you for that. Okay, we have a bunch of Centron films. I've been giving Ayana, one of my assistants, the task of pulling and scanning Centron films, and the reason why is because they all are in orange metal cans, which makes it super easy to identify. So instead of creating a list and pulling from the list, it's just go to the film vault basement and just pull orange cans. And so there has been some stuff that we've shown in the past, but there's a lot of new stuff. And we're going to start off with small predatory animals. Enjoy.
A predator is an animal which lives by killing and eating other animals. Fish, reptiles, and insects may all be predators. So can birds. Green herons catch and eat lots of fish, and young yellow-billed cuckoos thrive on big green caterpillars. Some mammals are also predatory. Flesh-eating mammals are called carnivores. Large carnivores include African lions, leopards, and cheetahs. All carnivores have similar teeth. On this tiny least weasel skull, notice the long, sharp canine teeth which project beyond the other teeth. These are ideal for seizing and killing prey. Few predators are as bold and aggressive as weasels. Tiny least weasels are adept at finding and killing meadow voles. Least weasels are brown during summer, fall, and early winter. But by midwinter, many are as white as snow. How would this white color help protect them in winter? All weasels eat nothing but meat. They never dine on vegetable matter. The least weasel feeds almost entirely on voles or mice. Its larger cousin, the long-tailed weasel, also eats rats, ground squirrels, and young rabbits. A close relative of the weasel is the mink. Mink usually live around brush and boulder-strewn waterways and lakes. Like weasels, mink depend on keen senses of smell, sight, and hearing to locate and capture prey. The careful, quiet observer may see a mink probing the ledges under a small waterfall in search of food. They are expert swimmers and can dive to 15 or 18 feet below the surface. Mink are found over most of North America, except in the deserts of the southwestern United States and the very cold areas of northernmost Canada. In many parts of North America, they are still caught by fur trappers. The total value of their pelts runs into millions of dollars each year. But how are mink valuable to man in other ways? Are they valuable simply because they are beautiful? Do they have an aesthetic value which is hard to measure in dollars and cents? Mink do not hibernate. Their search for food must continue throughout the winter. In springtime, why does the female pay special attention to a stump, hollow log, or rock crevice within her territory? Her family lives in such a location. Usually there are 3 to 6 youngsters in a mink family. The young, called kits, are born naked and with their eyes closed. Within 8 weeks, the fast-growing kits will try to capture small animals for themselves. These kits are already half-grown. Mink eat fish, frogs, crayfish, insects, and birds. Like other members of the weasel family, mink prey only on other animals. They do not eat plants or fruit. An occasional snake may also fall victim to the mink's sharp canine teeth. They also prey upon many other mammals. One of the largest mammals which a mink might attack is a muskrat. The muskrat that senses the presence of a mink may hurry away from its own home. The mink, however, knows that the muskrat is near. How does he know? His well-developed sense of smell alerts him. The predator begins to search for his quarry. The muskrat tries to hide itself in the cattails, but it can't escape. The muskrat is much larger than the mink, but the mink is faster and stronger, and his canine teeth allow the mink to hang on tightly, no matter how vigorously the muskrat thrashes in the shallow water. When the struggle is over, the mink may move into the muskrat's house. Everyone probably recognizes this predatory mammal. The black mask across the face and the bushy, ringed tail easily identify the raccoon. The raccoon's skull resembles that of the weasel. Note the prominent canine teeth. Raccoons usually make their dens in hollow tree trunks or limbs. If we climb this dead tree and look inside, we will see a mother nursing her young. At birth, a cub weighs only 3 ounces, but within 12 weeks may weigh 3 or 4 pounds. Most raccoon families have 3 to 5 young. Curiosity is a strong trait of these animals, and soon the young begin to explore the entrance to their den. Raccoons are largely nocturnal. That is, they are active at night. But sometimes the female may take the cubs for short daytime hikes. On warm days, the family may go for a swim, pausing to rest for a bit on a convenient rock. Raccoons have a highly developed sense of touch, especially in the soles of their feet. They continuously use their forepaws to feel and search for food, such as crayfish. They probably do not actually wash their food. They simply like to play with things, especially in water. So when a raccoon captures a crayfish, it may fondle it a few minutes before eating it. Frogs also fall victim to the raccoon's sensitive front paws and its sharp canine teeth. And they have little trouble catching small fish in shallow water. Raccoons are omnivorous. That means they feed on both animal and vegetable matter. How does this differ from weasels and mink? A natural vineyard of wild grapes is especially enticing. In the fall, they harvest tasty, ripe persimmons. Raccoons will also eat honey, bees, and wasps. Yellow jacket wasps nest underground. The raccoon will risk a few wasp stings to get at the yellow jacket larvae. While digging out the larvae, he may also eat a few of the adult wasps. When he finishes, all that remains is a large hole in the ground. Man is the raccoon's chief enemy. Thousands of raccoons are hunted, trapped, or killed by automobiles each year. Natural enemies include bobcats, great horned owls, and forest fires. Foxes, like weasels, mink, and raccoons, are also predatory mammals. The ever-alert gray fox stalks fields and brushy fence rows, hunting for rabbits and mice to eat. How does a gray fox skull resemble that of the weasel or raccoon? Gray foxes prefer to live near lakes and streams surrounded by forests and dense brushlands. In such areas, they find good hunting for rodents, insects, and an occasional bird. Though primarily carnivorous, the gray fox, like the raccoon, is omnivorous. The ability to climb trees is useful to an animal that enjoys tasty ripe persimmons, apples, grapes, and wild cherries. The gray fox is the only North American member of the dog family that regularly climbs trees. It can climb them because it has especially long claws. A gray fox den usually contains 3 to 5 cubs. Foxes, like other predatory mammals, have only a few young at a time, and their babies mature slowly. These cubs, for example, remain under the protective guidance of their parents for at least 7 months. But the small rodents and other animals that foxes eat usually have large numbers of young, which mature very quickly. Why is this important to foxes and other predators? The gray fox is much less wary than its close cousin, the red fox. Red foxes, nervous and suspicious, usually stay away from people, but the gray fox often lives quite close to human settlements. But because these predators are most active at night, they aren't often seen by people. Gray foxes occasionally raid flocks of poorly housed chickens, and sometimes make their dens under old farm buildings. A patient person living in the suburbs may actually coax wild gray foxes into his backyard by tempting them with powdered sugar donuts, grapes, and table scraps. Predatory mammals live totally or in large part by killing and eating other animals. Without them, the creatures upon which they prey might multiply so rapidly that nature's fragile balance would be destroyed. Because predators play such a vital role, they should always be respected and protected.
Trash pandas. Yeah. That looks like that was made by a couple, and then Centron basically distributed it. Making salads. Who's into making salads? I'm not talking about tossing salads. Making salads. Enjoy.
Cheeseburger, everything, no onion, no lettuce, medium cooked, salad bar. Salad bar.
Small Coke,
Small Coke.
small fries,
Junior fries.
salad bar.
Salad bar.
Over the past few years, trends towards light and fresh foods have spread to young people's favorite eating spots, fast food restaurants. They offer new types of light, fresh foods, such as salad bars. The impact of fast food restaurants on children's eating habits has encouraged many senior and junior high schools to implement salad bars in their lunch programs, with great success. That success in high schools has inspired food service directors throughout the country to introduce salad bars in elementary schools where students are eating fresh vegetables like never before. And food service directors are talking about their successes.
We were seeing little children going through these salad bars along with big brother and big sister and mother and father. And it gave us that idea, hey, this might be just the time for us to introduce salad bars, which we did. I have 161 schools all total. Of that total, 121 are elementary schools. I've been in school food service since 1963, and I'm sure back in '65 I would have laughed at you if you had suggested a salad bar. The time is right now.
Before we implemented salad bars in our schools, our participation was drifting down. We needed some participation builders, and we found that salad bars are participation builders. Our participation has gone up in some of our schools as much as 15 and 20%, and that's high. I've been a food service director for 7 years, and implementing salad bars has been one of the most exciting things that we've done. Children like to choose for themselves. The key word in an elementary school getting a salad bar started is to let children know they can choose what they want to eat themselves. That's the key word.
They have a choice of salad dressing and pickles and all kinds of stuff up there, so I can put anything I want on my salad. If you don't like something that they already put in the salad, it's not as good as if you get to choose what you want by yourself.
We first put in the salad bars at 3 elementary schools, and that was for a test basis to see if it could be handled by that age student, if it would be very messy, if it would be cost effective, if there would be plate waste. Also, there was the myth that children do not like salads. After testing it for 3 months, we were persuaded that it was a winner, that it was the perfect new thing to introduce.
Children adapt very easily to salad bars, and one of the things we found is it takes just about 4 to 5 days for children to get accustomed to using the salad bar and finding out where everything is on a salad bar. Children know exactly what they want, and once they find out where it's located, the adjustment is very easy. Many people would think that opening up a salad bar will have all of the food on the floor or around the counter, and that's a myth.
You know, it's delightful to watch the first, second, third graders as they help themselves to the salad bar. We've been pleased to see how few spills we have. We probably have no more spills on the salad bar, or probably less than we do on the regular lunch. They very carefully pick the vegetables. They pick vegetables they would never touch, such as cauliflower. We use cauliflower and broccoli quite commonly. We've been able to use an awful lot of peas. This was a commodity, so it was a very important way of using a commodity that we had difficulty using otherwise. Once a student has had the option of choosing their own food, they take a responsibility for it, and in turn are far more likely to eat it. And plate waste is almost a thing of the past for us. We've done a lot of costing of the salad bars, but we found that even when we allow them to help themselves, they do not take more than we can afford for them to take and still for us to stay in the budget. Matter of fact, the salad bar is a pretty economical meal. And I think there's a lot of ways that you can set up a salad bar without going to a lot of expense. We weren't built for salad bars. So one of the biggest challenges was, where do we put them? We were very concerned about the speed of the line. Actually, by adding a salad bar, we increased our line speed, because that way we have another line, in essence. And in fact, the student can make the decision and help themselves faster than they can make the decision and tell us.
Salad bars can be designed so that they can meet the meal pattern requirements. You can offer a pre-portioned protein cup, or offer a sandwich that the children can make themselves. And of course, you have all of the fruits and vegetables so that you can meet 3/4 cup fruit and vegetable requirements. So all of the meal requirements can be met on a salad bar. You must ensure that you have the highest quality food items on a salad bar, from your dressings to your salad greens to your fruits and vegetables to your protein. Salad dressing is the key component for a salad bar. Children love dressings. The salad dressing has to be one that is familiar to children, one that they relate to, one that they would enjoy eating, and the salad dressing will be the key.
I think when you look at a salad bar and really evaluate what causes this success, it's a number of facets. Your presentation, and certainly the manager and her staff are responsible there. And they either make or break the salad bar in the freshness of the products that they have chosen, keeping the color nice, the texture nice and crisp with a lot of variety in all categories.
A salad bar program is not effective unless you have input and cooperation from your principal, the entire administration, your parents, and your teachers.
There's been good feedback from both parents and students. The parents are very pleased that the added vegetables are being offered to the students. I find that the high percentage of participation in the salad bar by students speaks for itself.
I like salad because I like tomatoes. I put on everything. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and pickles, and onions. Crackers, pickles, salad dressing. There's hardly anything I don't like about salad. It has everything that I like in it.
Number 2 is a creamy type dressing. Number 3 is a thick French dressing.
We've done an awful lot with taste parties. I learned a long time ago that I could not make decisions for our little customers. What I like and what they like is two different things, and they are my customer. We have the taste parties on a regular basis. It is terrific PR.
And then once you have gone through and tested all 3 of them, then I'm going to ask you to go back and put a check mark by the one you like best.
Your student then feels responsible for decisions. And it is just a phenomenal way of getting student input.
Out to the side of the store. Like number 2, the
Students really like to eat things that they can pick up with their hands that are very easy to eat.
Children today are very accustomed to finger foods because of the way that they're brought up. Dips are an easy way to encourage children to try new foods because dips are fun. Everybody likes to eat with their fingers, and it's fun to use dips. Most of them have been brought up on eating in the fast food restaurants, and most of the food there is what we consider finger foods. And we just go an extension further by incorporating the raw vegetables with dips, doing some of the entrees with dips. It is of extreme importance that the dip that you're using must be something that children like to encourage more consumption of the food. The dipping sauces are really just an extension of the salad dressing mixes, and they're very easy to mix and very well accepted by children. Children are not real fond of cooked vegetables, but we can expand their consumption of vegetables through the use of raw vegetables with dips. And we do this through doing taste testing sessions.
Take a bite of the stem now. Turn it over and take a bite of the stem. Don't dip it, just eat it plain. Okay, how did you like it? You take a piece of broccoli and taste the dip with the broccoli.
We have served carrot sticks, celery sticks, and broccoli flowerets raw with a creamy dip. That has been very successful once we have introduced the children to the experience of tasting broccoli. We've tried it cooked, and they don't like it cooked, so we thought we would try the fresh approach.
How many of you like the broccoli plain? Raise your hand. No hands. How many of you like the broccoli better with the dip? Okay, very good. I'm glad you liked it. So we're going to be serving broccoli on the lunch with the dip.
If it was by itself, I couldn't eat it. I like it with the dip. It's good.
I think you'll notice that fast food operations are going more for dipping sauces in some of their entrees that they're serving. And to have a successful school program, I firmly believe that you have to follow the trends that are set by the people in the industry who serve children. And the fast food industry is where it's at.
The experience that our students have had out in the fast foods has made it an in thing. And those students have had a great influence over their peers in encouraging them to come through the salad bar also.
Salad bars are not messy. That's a myth.
You don't have plate waste.
Salad bars are participation builders.
Dips are an easy way to encourage children to try new foods because dips are fun.
They can choose what they want to eat themselves. That's the key word.
I think having a salad bar in elementary school puts a little bit more fun into lunch. It was a winner, the perfect new thing to introduce. The time is right now.
We just witnessed an ad for Hidden Valley Ranch. That's what that whole thing was basically an ad for Hidden Valley Ranch. And how much kids love dipping vegetables or anything into ranch dressing. Fascinating film. Really something. And I don't know if I showed it on the streaming show or not. Like, I couldn't find it in the spreadsheet list of films that I've shown. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Let's see. I've shown the first version of this, Airplanes and How They Fly. This is the 1978 version. Let's learn about aerodynamics. Enjoy.
When this airplane is fully loaded, it weighs over 300,000 kilograms, or nearly 750,000 pounds. Yet it gets off the ground with ease. Have you ever wondered how this is possible? You may already know that no object moves unless a force is applied to it. So there must be one or more forces that cause an airplane to move forward and to stay up in the air. Actually, there are 4 basic forces that act on every airplane in flight. The first is gravity. Gravity constantly pulls the airplane toward the ground. The second force is lift. Lift causes the airplane to rise. The forces of lift and gravity work in opposite directions. The third force is called thrust. Thrust causes the airplane to move forward. And the fourth is called drag. Drag includes everything that resists the airplane's forward motion, such as the friction between the airplane and the air it moves through. For an airplane to accelerate forward, thrust must be greater than drag. For it to accelerate upwards, lift must be greater than gravity. When the airplane is in steady, level flight, thrust is exactly equal to drag, and lift is exactly equal to gravity. But what produces the forces of thrust and lift? Thrust begins here with the fuel. Airplane fuel has stored energy called potential energy. Regardless of whether the fuel is burned in a propeller engine or in a jet engine, the potential energy of the fuel is changed in the engine, first into heat energy and then into mechanical energy. This mechanical energy from the engines produces thrust, the force which propels the airplane forward. But what produces lift? The force which overcomes gravity and allows an airplane to rise from the ground. To answer that, consider what the airplane flies in: air. You've probably seen that air that is not moving, static air, has no effect on objects in it. But what happens if the air between these balls is set in motion? Are you surprised? Instead of flying apart, as you might have suspected, the balls come together. This demonstrates a law of physics called Bernoulli's principle, which states that air pressure decreases as the speed of air increases. And in a similar manner, air pressure increases as the speed of air decreases. Here's another example. Hold a piece of paper by one end and blow across the top of it. The paper rises because the fast-moving air on top has less pressure than the air underneath. The force which elevates the paper is lift. Airplanes use the same principle. From this side view, notice that the airplane wing is not flat on top, but has a curved shape. Because of its shape, it's called an airfoil. An airfoil shape is used for all parts of an airplane which make use of air pressure to lift or control the airplane. What is air pressure? Air pressure is the force exerted by air on every object in the atmosphere. When an airplane is standing still, the air pressure is the same all over the wing. But when thrust is applied and the wing moves forward, air flows across the top and bottom surfaces. The distance from the front to the back along the curved top surface is greater than the distance across the bottom surface. Watch the air flowing over the wing. Notice that it has to travel farther in the same amount of time than the air going under the wing. Since it has farther to go, the air over the wing must travel faster than the air under the wing. You have already seen that as the speed of air increases, air pressure decreases. For this reason, there's less pressure above this wing than below it. The difference between the lower pressure above the wing and the higher pressure below the wing creates the force called lift. The greater the difference between these pressures, the greater the lift. Up to a certain point, lift is increased when the wing is tilted slightly upwards. This tilt is called the angle of attack. In flight, some of the air striking the underside of the tilted wing is turned back, around the front, and over the top of the wing in a long curving path. Because of its lengthened path, this air must flow extremely fast to rejoin the air moving a much shorter distance across the bottom of the wing. This great difference in speed increases the difference in the air pressure above and below the wing and greatly increases lift. And so a tilted wing can develop up to 10 times more lift than a horizontal wing. When the total lifting force overcomes the force of gravity, the airplane rises into the air. Once the plane is airborne, lift not only keeps it in the air, but also helps control its flight. To understand how the same pressure differences that produce lift can also cause the airplane to turn and dive and climb, you must look at some of the other basic airfoils. The tail section of this airplane is made up of two important symmetrical airfoils. the vertical stabilizer and the horizontal stabilizer. Notice the two movable control surfaces on the horizontal stabilizer. These are called elevators. When the elevators are moved up and down, they actually change the overall shape of the horizontal stabilizer. Now, watch what happens in slow motion. When the airplane is in flight and the elevators are lowered, air flowing over the curved surfaces of the airfoil creates a low pressure area on top and a high pressure area below the horizontal stabilizer. Thus, lift is developed. This lift pushes the tail of the airplane up, which in turn forces the nose down. When the elevators are raised in flight, the high and low pressure areas are reversed, so that the tail is forced down and the nose up. This control surface on the vertical stabilizer is called the rudder. The rudder can be moved to the right or to the left. When the airplane is in flight, which direction do you think the nose will move when the rudder swings to the left? Air flowing over the vertical stabilizer forms a high pressure area on the left side and a low pressure area on the right side. This difference in pressure causes the tail to move right, swinging the nose to the left. When the rudder position is reversed, the pressure difference is also reversed. So the tail swings to the left and the nose is pointed to the right. These two control surfaces on the wings are called ailerons. Notice that when one aileron swings down, the other swings up. A lowered aileron increases the lift of the wing, while a raised aileron decreases the lift. When the airplane is in flight, and the right aileron is lowered as the left one is simultaneously raised, the airflow causes the right wing to produce more lift than the left wing. So the airplane banks or tilts to the left. When combined with a rudder movement to the left, the airplane performs a bank turn. When the aileron and rudder positions are reversed, the airplane banks and turns to the right. And finally, these control surfaces on the wings are called flaps. The flaps slide back from the wing and at the same time rotate down. This is called lowering the flaps. It changes the shape and also increases the area of the wing. During takeoff, flaps are partially lowered to increase the lift so that the airplane can take off in a shorter distance. When approaching the runway for a landing, the flaps are again lowered so that even at very slow landing speeds, the wings produce enough lift to support the airplane. A slow landing speed is desirable because it permits the airplane to be landed on a much shorter runway. Since maximum lift is especially important on landings and takeoffs, airplanes normally take off and land against the wind. The wind increases the speed of the air over the wings and increases the lift. Since lift depends upon the amount and speed of the air passing over the wings, lift can also be increased by flying faster. Very fast airplanes often have short wings. Conversely, slower airplanes must have longer wings to produce enough lift. As the speed of the airplane increases, so does the drag. This affects not only the size, but also the shape of the wings. Airplanes designed to fly much slower than the speed of sound usually have straight wings. Straight wings are easy to control and produce a great deal of lift in proportion to their size. But V-shaped swept wings like these are better for high-speed airplanes because at high speeds, swept wings cause less drag than straight wings. Some airplanes, designed to fly at very high speeds, have wings which sweep back so far they form a triangle that looks like the Greek letter D or delta. Although delta wings perform very well at high speeds, they don't develop enough lift at low speeds to operate off short runways. Sometimes drag chutes are used to slow down the airplane after it has landed at high speed. To build airplanes that perform well at any speed, aeronautical engineers have designed wings which are movable, called variable sweep wings. At low speeds, the wings are spread out straight. As the airplane moves faster, the wings are swept back, until at very high speeds, they sweep all the way back to form delta wings. So no matter how fast the plane is flying, its wings form the best possible shape for that speed. The basic airfoils and control surfaces on most modern airplanes use these same fundamental principles to keep the airplane in the air and to control its flight. Although no one can be certain about how airplanes of the future will look or how they will operate, one fact will not change. Any airplane that has ever flown or ever will fly must reckon with the same four basic forces: lift and gravity, and thrust and drag.
There you go. All right, let's see what we got. All right. This next film I showed a long time ago, like 3 years ago, two and a half years ago. But it's always good to be on point and remember that playgrounds are great, but there are safety issues. I'm sure we all have scars, both physical and emotional and mental scars from playground experiences. Enjoy.
Dinky Poor didn't really mean to start the story about the huge sea monster in Strawberry Lake. He was only telling a fib because he had to have an excuse for getting home late for supper. So he told his
If you're like most kids, your very favorite time of day is recess. Once outside, the race is on. But wait a second. Stop! Did you know that every year thousands of children like you are hurt in playground accidents? It's true. That's why you need to learn and practice the rules of playground safety. They're as simple as ABC. Learning the rules of playground safety isn't as difficult as you might think. In fact, it's easy. All you have to do is remember the first 4 letters of the alphabet. Each safety rule starts with one of these letters. The A stands for the first rule of playground safety. Avoid unsafe playground behavior. What kind of behavior is unsafe? A couple of foolish friends will demonstrate. Okay, guys, you're on. Here's one kind of unsafe behavior to avoid. Plain old roughhousing. This kind of rowdy behavior may be fun, but it isn't very safe, especially on a hard, paved playground. Sooner or later, someone usually gets hurt. Many accidents are caused by this kind of unsafe behavior. Using playground equipment improperly. It seems there's always somebody trying to act like a stuntman or daredevil. Avoid this kind of behavior. It's unsafe. Never jump from swings. Never play tag or king of the mountain on climbing structures. And avoid foolish daredevil stunts. The results may not be what you expected. Also, stay off the volleyball and tetherball standards. Rocking them can be dangerous. Here's something else that can be dangerous: eating or chewing gum during playground activities. Why? Because there's a chance you might get choked while you're playing. So remember, avoid all unsafe behavior on the playground. The B of the ABCs of playground safety stands for be safety-minded. To be safety-minded, you must know the rules for using each type of playground equipment. Let's take a look at the rules for using the slide first. When you climb the ladder, hang on with both hands. Take those steps one at a time. Don't be in a hurry. You should stay well behind the person ahead of you, unless you like the taste of shoe leather. When it's your turn, wait until the slide is clear and everyone is out of the way before you start down. Slide one person at a time, sitting up, and always slide feet first. Quickly move away from the bottom of the slide. Being safety-minded on climbing structures means using them only when they're dry and free of ice. They're slippery and dangerous when wet. On metal climbing structures, always grip the bars with both hands, except when you're changing positions. Use a good firm grip with your thumb wrapped around the bar. And remember, never push or shove each other on balance beams. You might cause someone to have a painful fall. Be safety-minded on horizontal ladders, too. They come in different sizes, so use the one that's the right size for you. Everyone should start from the same end, move in the same direction, and keep a safe distance from the person ahead. Watch out for swinging feet. When you drop from the horizontal ladder, try to land on both feet and bend your knees slightly as you land. This helps cushion your fall. It's really important to be safety-minded around swings and teeter-totters because there's a bigger chance of accidents around moving equipment. The thing to remember here is keep a safe distance while waiting your turn. If you should get too close, you could be hit by a moving swing and be badly hurt. Never get close to a swing until the person ahead comes to a complete stop. When it's your turn, sit down, one person to a swing, and face the same direction as those next to you. Always swing sitting down, never standing up. And hold on with both hands. When your turn is over, come to a complete stop before you leave the swing. Remember, no jumping. Now for the teeter-totter. There's a right way and a wrong way to use the teeter-totter.
Whee! Whee!
Obviously, this is the wrong way.
Whee! Yeah!
Somebody could get hurt. Now, let's see the right way, the safety-minded way. First, there should be only one person on each end at a time. Always sit facing each other and hold on with both hands. Avoid bumping or going too fast. That's dangerous and could break the teeter-totter. Always warn your partner before you get off.
I want to get off now.
Then get off at the same time, keeping the board as level as possible. Be safety-minded when you play games, too. Tag lightly with one hand. Never play tag like this. When you get a hit playing softball, avoid throwing the bat. It might hit someone. Instead, drop it on the way to first base. Of course, in any softball game, the catcher should always wear a mask for protection. Here's another thing to remember. Keep your eye on the ball, even when you're not playing the game. Otherwise, you might be hit by a foul ball or a wild throw. That was a close one. To be safe, stay behind the backstop, but keep your eye on the ball. If you wear glasses, here's another way to be safety-minded. Remove your glasses or wear eyeglass guards when you play active games such as volleyball. And no matter what games you play, never play barefooted. Looks like he had to learn this point the hard way. So keep your shoes on whenever you're on the playground. The things you don't want on you are combs, pencils, pens, and scissors. At least not while you're playing. These sharp items can be dangerous on the playground. So be safety-minded and leave them in the classroom. Here's the safety-minded way to run races and relays. Use a chalk line or a rope for a turning line. And make sure that it's a few feet in front of any fences or other obstacles. Never use a fence. You may run into it and hurt yourself. One more thing you need to be safety-minded about. Dogs that wander onto the playground. A dog may look friendly, but he just might be hungry. So be safety-minded and stay away from strange dogs. Now for the C of the ABCs of playground safety. Courtesy helps prevent accidents. Being courteous means waiting your turn in playground games. Unfortunately, this seems difficult for some children. Kids who aren't courteous are the ones who push and shove and disrupt the fun others are having. One thing about kids who aren't courteous, they don't have many friends.
We want our ball back, you dirty rat! Give us our ball back!
If you want to have friends, learn to be courteous. Be willing to share and let others play. Wait your turn without crowding and pushing. You'll prevent hard falls and hard feelings. Another thing, if you're courteous, you'll never throw a ball to a friend who's not watching. If you do, he may not want to be your friend anymore. Courtesy also means watching where you're going. Otherwise, you may interfere with the games other groups are playing, maybe even cause an accident. Courtesy also means being a good sport and playing games according to the rules. When you obey the rules, you'll be a better player and you'll help prevent accidents too. If you don't understand the rules of a game, ask your teacher to explain them to you. Another thing, if your teacher ever needs to correct you or remind you of any of the rules of playground safety, be courteous and follow the instructions promptly.
If you know better, you've got to think of yourself and other people. That's dangerous. Quit it right now. Both of you come right on over here.
Keep in mind that it's the teacher's job to help you play safely and have fun. So remember, courtesy helps prevent accidents. The final letter, D, stands for do your part to make your playground safe. How? One way is to take care of your playground equipment. Never be guilty of this kind of behavior.
Stupid. You dummy, you're supposed to do that. That's really weird.
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
When your playmates make fun of you, you can really feel small. So do your part. Take care of playground equipment. Here's something else you can do to make your playground safe. Watch out for broken equipment and unsafe conditions. For example, a loose or missing bolt here could cause a dangerous fall. Report missing parts and loose or broken equipment to your teacher immediately.
Fix it for us. Make sure the other boys and girls stay off the slide today, Wayne.
Okay.
Also, report any other safety hazards you may find on the playground before they cause an accident. Finally, do your part to keep your playground clean. Being a litter bug can cause accidents. Don't be a litter bug. Put candy wrappers, chewing gum, banana peels, and papers where they belong. You'll be doing your part to make your playground a clean, pleasant, safe place to play. So remember the ABCs of playground safety. A, avoid unsafe playground behavior. B, be safety-minded. C, courtesy helps prevent accidents. And D, do your part to make your playground safe. Practice these rules and you'll make your playground a safer, better place to play.
Yeah, watch out for the hungry dogs that show up on your playground. That was weird. I certainly have seen animals show up on playgrounds, and I spent a lot of time on playgrounds, as most of us who grew up in the 70s did, for recess. I remember playing kickball, which was a game that I was okay with. When I went through puberty, man, my coordination went out the window. But I remember we would sit there while we were waiting to go up to kick. We would pick up these little flat stones and we'd find a piece of glass that was near the playground, as often is the case, and we would make little holes. And so there were little sedimentary rocks, and so we would just go, and then people would make necklaces out of them. And we were just so bored. And kickball was okay, but yeah. Anyways, okay, so I wanted to mention this. It has been confirmed that I will be participating in the Found Footage Festival's toe tapping tournament on March 31st. And I was asking you, I mentioned this before, I was asking you guys for what do you remember? And then I remember that I did actually poll everybody about 2025 because I thought I might do a toe tapping tournament with those dudes, and it just schedule-wise didn't work out. But here are what we had vote-wise. So this score is I gave people two choices. First choice that score was doubled, so you get 2 for that. Second choice is 1. So we're seeing that a song from the Maltese Falcon, or a Maltese Unicorn, was the most picked. Then there's that Christian film, and now a word from our sponsor, which is a bunch of little short vignettes. The Thunder Lightning Case song, Don't Be Afraid, which I think is animated. Sun Power, the Barbara Murray song, which I don't know if that's the one about alcohol and beer. I have to track some of these down. Is a career in fishing or forestry for you? That's one of the many films that have different song intros at the beginning that make get you really excited about trying to find a job. But surprisingly, the Mullet Country theme song, which is about Mullet the fish, was pretty popular as well. So I'm going to try to bring up some of those. If you can think of any others, because I'd like to kind of... Monday I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be showing films on NC State campus at the same time as the show. But I would like to kind of maybe have Friday be the time that we picked these two competitors. So if you have any other ones that you remember, write me at skip@avgeeks.com. It would be great to hear from you. And think about ones that we've shown in 2025 or this year so far that you feel like, oh, that's totally a contender. I'm also going to look through my notes to see if there's any others that came up. I'm not doing commercial jingles because certainly we've been showing a lot of commercials, but I'm going to really kind of concentrate on films that are, or jingles that are in films, like educational films. So that are my rules. Thanks so much for watching today. Hope you guys had a great day, and will continue to have a great day. It feels good to be here. I'm a little buzzy with the steroids, but not as in much pain, so that's great. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Hit like, subscribe. You can donate via the Super Thanks button, patreon.com/avgeeks. Buy us coffee, because, well, I don't really need coffee today. ko-fi.com/avgeeks. But yeah, certainly think about like what we've shown. And if you remember a date or whatever, like all the shows are mostly online, unless YouTube has had their way with them. So yeah, write me. If you can't remember specifically, just kind of give me a rough idea of what you remember about the film. But thanks so much for watching today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.